Justin has requested me on Patreon to review Alfred Hitchcock's The 39 Steps. Released in 1935, this has a lot of the elements that would become associated with his movies and provides a really entertaining thriller. The main aspect that 39 Steps has in common with some of his most famous movies is the main character going on the run for crime he did not commit. And yet, while this is a favorite subject of Hitchcock's, he has often been careful to not repeat himself too much with the execution. The movie actually takes a bit of an episodic structure, as lead protagonist Richard Hannay goes from one place to the next and deals with this predicament. He finds a place to hide, then the authorities or the spy organization also have him show up. He gets out of the situation, and then is off to the next hiding spot. However, each of these chapters present their own excitement, and Hannay even evolves after each predicament. He starts off fearful and scared about what might happen to him, but then at a certain point he acts more casual, and it's fun seeing this change in him as he also unravels more what these secret foreign agents are up to. Hitchcock keeps the plot simple and does not even tell us which country exactly these agents are working for, although in the book they are working for Germany, which makes sense seeing it was written during World War I. Since this movie was made in 1935, they could have still been German spies, but Berlin was still trying to appease Nazi Germany at that point, and it would be a few years before they were at war with each other. The film's focus is primarily on Hannay and seeing whether he can prove his innocence and fraud what exactly the spies are planning. Robert Donat brought the necessary charm to the role while also showing him reacting to this situation and trying to think on his feet how to get out of it. Like I said, there's a decent variety to the events that happen. One of the most exciting sequences involves Hannay escaping the authorities on a train. During the scene, he comes across a woman who immediately informs the police, and then the movie cleverly brings her back in the third act. Although since Madeleine Carroll was second billed and given prominence on the poster, that probably was not a surprise to the audience at the time. Hitchcock's sense of humor is also featured throughout the movie, with one high point coming from Hannay being confused for an important speaker. It's an amusing scene with him having to improvise a political speech, and he even managed to get more animated the more he talks. Even with the danger Hannay is in, Hitchcock and the screenwriters nonetheless appear to have a lot of fun, putting him in all kinds of situations, showing the different people he meets, and then trying to think of a way to get out of it. And each of the people he comes across do manage to have memorable personalities, including the female spy who gets killed at the beginning of the movie, the couple he stays with at one point, and the head of the spy operation who he unintentionally meets. These are all necessary plot points that progress Hannay through the story, and Hitchcock paces it well through the movie's short runtime. As mentioned, The 39 Steps has a lot of the traits common in his work, with North by Northwest being the Hitchcock movie it shares the closest kinship with. Had he made this movie in the 40s or 50s, I could absolutely imagine Cary Grant playing Hannay and the kinds of ways he would try to slip out of the clutches of the policemen and spies. We also see Hitchcock's love of using attention-grabbing locations as the setting for his main character's escapades. In this case, it's the Forth Bridge in Scotland. And then there's his use of the MacGuffin, the plot device that mostly exists to get the characters into motion and propel the story forward. The type of secret the spies are seeking is not really important in the grand scheme of things. It's just important that the spies are looking for something and they believe Hannay is an obstacle that they need to stop. If the viewer is invested in him making out this ordeal alive, then Hitchcock has done his job at grabbing your attention. The script also does something clever by introducing an element early on that does serve an important role in the plot later. I mentioned Madeleine Carroll's role earlier, but there's also a man with an incredible memory who's introduced early and then who we eventually circle back to. Alfred Hitchcock is one of those filmmakers I do think maintained a largely consistent quality through most of his career, and even when he made something underwhelming, he would quickly bounce back with the next production. And even as he grew as a filmmaker and employed new techniques, if you go back to his early work, there are several of the same aspects that would make his later movies entertaining. The 39 Steps is a really well-done caper with a lot of fun scenarios and intriguing twists and turns, and the needed concern for its lead protagonist on the run and trying to figure things out. If you've seen this movie, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for the request, Justin.